like Drakkar, bottom whatever
Brain
character,
blast.
he stinks.
Brain blast. Look at the pick ban.
Brain blast. Oh my god, there he is! A greasy little space invader himself. I'm excited. I think this is a pretty underrated pick. I did say he was bad, and I'm circling back. He's not the greatest. Yeah, better characters have been picked, but I think Drakkar has a very interesting niche. He's got an awesome shotgun, and the way I saw Assertive playing it was she walked up a lot and was just really, really aggressive. And Drakkar is like, you look at him and you're like, he's not a melee or a ranged goalie. He's just like a guy. That kind of sucks. But I don't know. Assertive was getting Assertive on the pick, really looking like an oppressive force, and I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well Zoe does as well. You mentioned the dubu being at the start of the show, and I do have to agree. It has looked good every single time I have seen it from Zoe. And also, because CyberSwipe our red side, we're going to be seeing the Drakkar actually go invisible. That's not something you could say every time.
Oh yeah, lore accurate Xeno Cloak on the board. We're looking at a Spark of Agility timeless start with everyone but Expochan taking that Spark. Could be really big for the Boo. I imagine, big fan of the Sparks, and starting with the Agility. You definitely don't want that guy with Mag Souls to start going Mach 20. That is intimidating. He is so large and in charge, and give him a little bit of speed, and the Boo is unleashed.
ZachSmack, on the other hand, piloting the Juno goalie with Strike Shot, and WEEB has been fantastic on the Juliet. The Juliet player, of course, and a quick flip through from ZachSmack before the log could even come out. Will secure the first point for the Weebs.
for the Weebs. I believe the hit stun from the core flip was able to prevent Zoe the Witch from getting the log out, which is really interesting. Core flipping that close is super valuable. Get that hit stun, prevent the enemy team from doing anything, but now that's one barrier and a flip. That's a second barrier, no flip used. Carmine has one, but if Zoe the Witch can get the ball, that's a Juno goalie, which I haven't thought about yet. I didn't see it. And that's a KO onto Expochan a lot. Much to think about this game, truly.
Yeah, well, the thing I'm thinking about is that ZachSmack hasn't had the goalie too much this game so far. Like, it's all been the offense coming out, and a preemptive flip by Zoe will make the offense. Not quite there for CyberSwipe. We and Carmine have been the stars of the show, keeping the core up and keeping possession in their hands almost exclusively.
And all of that offense is going to be super important because, again, it's just forcing CyberSwipe into the corner. A KO, though, and it all falls apart. A KO, though, and now that's one guy instead of two guys on the offense, and now CyberSwipe with this power play just has free reign to do whatever they want, and an immediate goal, quick and easy. I think, just thinking preliminarily, that's not a word, but CyberSwipe, if they get a KO, they should just be able to get in there and win. With all of the work that we and Carmine are doing, getting rid of one of them should just secure a point for CyberSwipe.
Yeah, but should and will are two very different things here as we goes in. Zoe the Witch in position with an opportunity, but no cooldowns. Expochan with the pass down, but the coordination's not quite there, unfortunately. And the Firewall Sentry trying to save the day, but the barrage from Carmine nullifies it. Zoe the Witch in position, a flip used, and the barrier finally falls after every single resource is expended by CyberSwipe. Well done, but you still have to find the goal here.
Right. They've got WEEB really low. Just burned an elusive too, has none. Both barriers down for both teams, and Carmine has the ball. CyberSwipe looking for an opportunity. We also going for a dash punch, not able to get it. But, won the strike war, but dropped the ult. Saved by Assertive, saving that barrage too. Getting a KO on WEEB, and now CyberSwipe has this power play, 3 seconds left, but almost able to get it in, looking for the chance. WEEB is back. Chance burned, but they still have the offense and are able to get it in off that clear right there. It's going to be another point for CyberSwipe.
Yeah, and usually the Juno goalie's played with the eject button. This time, ZachSmack opting for the strike shot. But unfortunately, that doesn't give you bonus size. Can't quite reach the core in that particular moment there. And Zoe the Witch also pushing forward. If CYBR can get their offense rolling, if they can get some more possession, I think they can overwhelm this Juno goalie.
Yeah, absolutely. Flip burned by Carmine, but it doesn't matter. Expochan there to catch the clear out, and the net is open once again for CyberSwipe. Like you said, if they get any more presence on the map, it should just be curtains. Turret coming out, flip, big flip, but the slime blocking it. Just all angles covered. Big opportunity there on the glitch pop. Zoe the Witch hitting a little bit of a bucket, Mario coin, a happy star, skibbity blast. But now just unable to find anything, trying to get through Carmine, but he is a wall in this midfield and enabling WEEB to get up in there and kind of suffocate Assertive on that barrier. Yeah,
but Assertive, you mentioned the Drakkar goalie. It has been looking quite good so far. Very, very confident with the shotguns here, keeping the core near the sides, near where it's easy to clear. For the Drakkar, that's a KO onto the Aimi, and a good strike timing by ZachSmack to get it out of there to terrain, not stopping it too much. And oh no! The Weaves accidentally misplay there. It doesn't bounce the way they wanted to, and the barrier still stands. And it still stands after that as well. With the barrier in their hands, I think CyberSwipe can play a lot more confidently with WEEB staggered as well. Out of the play, a flip through from Zoe the Witch, and that's a first set win for CyberSwipe.
Yeah, bang after bang, just immaculate. Guys, is Drakkar back? Have we done it?
It's like era. Maybe better in the goalie position.
Might just be better in the box. But here, Dubu, character freed from the box. Here, picking up 1-2 punch, denying the Juno. The Dubu is getting active, putting on the gloves, which I guess is kind of counterintuitive because you usually say taking off gloves, but going to be doing a lot of damage, a lot of core speed, which I think is great, especially with the Dubu wall known to function, and could get a lot of crazy things going off that. Seeing an Among Titans pick from Carmine, that's going to be a lot of speed, and Catalyst on WEEB, also pretty relevant. Juliet just generates a lot of energy. It's going to be a lot of flips, which I feel like Drakkar doesn't. It's pretty neutral on it. It's a character that just feels incredibly neutral. He doesn't do anything particularly exceptional, but isn't bad at anything either. It's so weird. Picking up the Stagger Swagger is sort of going to have a lot more speed, but I really think the Among Titans is going to be a big pick. That's so much more speed for Carmine. And this 1-2 punch can make huge waves for CyberSwipe. Oh,
well, that's the Aimi gone. That's the barriers down, and that's a coordinated offense with the slime from ZachSmack, pushing up to close to the midline and scoring the first goal in the favor of the Wee's Little Bees here. 1-0 now, looking for another opportunity in this next point. Wee's going to have to be careful, though. The title you'll remember here is meterless and could be taken out with enough focus.
Yeah. Especially, like I said last set, if CyberSwipe gets KOs, that should be pretty good for their chances, and the 1-2 punch is going to enable so much more damage from the Dubu, character who is definitely limited by his CDs, but does a ton of damage. And the glitch pop coming out right there, off the wall bounce, is just so much coverage in that net. Beautiful coordination, exactly what you would expect from CyberSwipe right there.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit before, right? Zoe the Witch and Assertive are very consistent members of CyberSwipe, but the X factor is always Expochan. The question is always whether Expochan is performing at her best or not. And if she is, then that is like the CyberSwipe that takes down top teams in the weeklies. If she isn't, then CyberSwipe could crash out early. So far, I think they've been doing quite well so far. And Zoe the Witch looking like a goalie Dubu right now, making the saves. If they can find the consistent offense, they can turn it around here as well. As Expochan earns a barrier already, goes for another here, but the barrage will stuff it out. But the shotgun range from Assertive is good enough, and the offense continues for CyberSwipe despite the no barriers.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to get in there. Zoe the Witch looking for blood. And like you said, Expochan, this X Factor, playing the Aimi that they're known for, but WEEB able to ult it right through, get it through the Drakkar, who dropped a lock and load. Shotgun in the corner usually just wins every interaction, but able to squeak it through. No energy burned, too, and WEE's Little Bees has the reflips and is 1 point away from tying up this game.
1 point away, assertive with no meter. A little dangerous here for Carmine as well as the Molten Bolt connects a lot of damage onto the Kai here. Will pick up the orb and heal right back up, but that's a barrier already taken. Assertive, strike shot a little bit too impatient as the barrier falls, but the Giga Blast makes it a little bit easier for CyberSwipe to defend. The log is good, the CyberSwipe is good, tons of damage onto WEEB, who's in position, but the shotgun will prevent the dash, and the barrier still stands for CyberSwipe. An incredible defensive front from them, but they still need to transition into offense because right now they're getting clogged up in the midfield.
Yeah, the defense from CyberSwipe, I think with this dubu forward is always nice. Oh, bang! Big KO coming out from Expo-chan. Again, a little bit of an X factor there, but it's always nice to see because the dubu is such a great defensive monster, and then you can just transition to start killing people, and then the big hamster starts murdering people, puts that in the net right there. Great strike war. CyberSwipe tying up the set. Bang after bang, once again, just able to get all of these objectives, get the KOs. It's so nice to see this team firing off on all cylinders because it is always a work of art.
But Carmine trying to do it all himself there. 2 barriers in an instant, but we a little bit of a panic strike right into Assertive, who will say thank you, make the save, and keep the defense rolling. A dash pop attempt from Expo-chan, who's been so good so far, but this time unsuccessful. The Firewall Sentry, though, good, and the follow-up strikes by both Expo and Zoe find both barriers in an instant, and it was a point that looked so good for Wee's Little Bees. It's turning all the way around so quickly as Assertive pushes it through Wee. The strike war won by Zoe the Witch, but Zoe the Witch just boomed off the map by 5 different cooldowns.
Yeah, no more boo. This is the opportunity that Wee's Little Bees have been looking for. We looking a little low though. Big cyber swipe. Expo-chan trying to get in there. ZachSmack with the flip, able to catch it, not use the flip. Still has it. They're gonna have to get through that if they want to score. We though still looking really low. Expo-chan guarding the orb, just blocking him completely, leaving Zoe the Witch and Assertive to defend. But Carmine able to sneak it in the corner. Assertive expecting the ball to bounce a little bit differently, I think, there, and not able to push it out. Wee's Little Bees will be taking that one.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of panic strike shots here. You always hate to see it, but so far been a pretty close game. Down to the wire, both sets. And with that spark scaling coming in, I think the Wee's Little Bees are sitting pretty here, but that's a fight or flight on the dubu. That big hamster is going to get a lot more mobile, and that's scary to deal with.
Yeah, perfect form on the Juno, to able to just use all the CDs to throw them forward. You know, like you said earlier, not having to do a whole lot on defense. That's going to be a lot of CDs. It just able to be used to push the ball up, maintain the control for the side of Wee's Little Bees. It's going to be really nice. That second spark on the Julie, also super scary. Expo-chan, though, picking up extra special with that Timeless Creator means that every kickoff is going to be super Cyber Swipe favored. That being said, Expo-chan's looking a little low. Cyber Swipe has 0 barriers, and it's looking like Wee's Little Bees has a ton of control here.
Yeah, but Cyber Swipe, the moment that Expo-chan finds a good Cyber Swipe, the game can turn around, the points can turn around, and Assertive with a good strike shot getting out of the corner here, but the roll goes forward, and the roll actually finds its target. And Zoe the Witch getting so much damage pressure, so much KO pressure on this dubu, and they're continuing to push forward here. ZachSmack in a lot of trouble. Expo-chan closing in a lot faster than the rearview mirror indicates. And now it's a scramble for the core in the midfield. Expo-chan pushing forward once again, interrupted by ZachSmack. And now Wee's in position to strike for wins, though. Dangerous spot for Assertive. The glitch pop forcing out the flip from ZachSmack, but Carmine and Wee in position, and Wee doesn't even need the flip.
Yeah, just a simple dash strike will get it done. I really like the play Assertive made there, using the primary in the corner there to try and bounce it out, but we, with the dash, able to just cover every option, sweep right through, and get it in. But there we see another kickoff, another big turret, a big Cyber Swipe coming out for Cyber Swipe, and that's going to be both barriers. And I think we can expect a lot more of that for the rest of the game coming out because, again, this extra special pickup, the turret is going to be so prevalent on every kickoff that it just looks like Cyber Swipe is kind of set in stone for this point, unless a big flip comes out, a big punch, able to get it through the log, and Wee's Little Bees will be taking none of it.
Oh, yeah, that is what you want to see if you're Wee's Little Bees. You want to accelerate the pace of the game, make it so that ZachSmack doesn't have to play that much defense, right? So that Juno can reinforce the offense more, make the pressure just keep on rolling. If Zoe the Witch and Expo Chan can't ever really get started, that's huge. But right now, they're getting started a little bit, but the Strike War wins make sure at least one barrier stays standing, so ZachSmack has more room to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of damage on these brawlers. We almost taken down by the dash pop. Still here, though, Slime going to be taking that barrier. Zoe the Witch camping the middle, looking to just get started. Has that fight or flight. That's a ton of speed for the Boo. He's going to be getting active there. But unfortunately, just getting stuffed out by these Slimes. Big barrier take from the Cyber Swipe there. Unfortunately, not guarded. And this is looking like Cyber Swipe's chance to have the barrier open. But we've been seeing this whole set that they get the barrier open and have just been struggling to get their next opportunity. They're just being suffocated by all the core control coming out from Wee's Little Bees. Just forced on defense. They just have to push it through once. And they, like, the dubu should be able to get through the Juno. But they're still on defense. A flip burned from Wee. Looking really low. They might be able to look for a KO. But until then, they're just kind of stuck in this corner.
Yeah, but the 1-2 punch on Zoe the Witch might do the trick here. The core speed picking up. Expo Chan in position with the flip to the top side, but ZachSmack has the strike shot locked and loaded. And Zoe the Witch survives the assassination attempt. The dubu continues rolling forward, puts a lot of damage onto Wee. The Cyber Swipe deflected away by ZachSmack. And now Zoe the Witch in position once again with the stun onto Carmine, finds the goal, and that's what you want if you're Cyber Swipe.
Absolutely. That's something that I think is a hallmark of Zoe the Witch on dubu. Is she's just really smart with the secondary. You know, almost always drops it on someone and then immediately strikes right after while the core is stunned. You know, has the opportunity to just... It's like a pseudo core flip. Unfortunately assassinated. Dead on Night Market. Dash punched away, and Wee with the flip. Not burning it yet, but just looking to force it through. Assertive, though, on the defense. Looking great. Able to stop all of that. The power play. Unable to get a whole lot. And Zoe the Witch jumping in with the secondary again. This whole team working together to defend right here, and they're able to do it.
They are, but the flip is defended away by the Giga Blast. Carmine keeping the pressure up, but Expo Chan says no, looks for the Strike War win. This time, it is won by Wee's Little Bees. In the corner is Wee. Assertive clears it away. ZachSmack in position, but no primaries to speak of, but a flip perfectly. The Tofu Fortress doesn't do enough. Wee's incredibly low, though. If they can get the KO, create a striker advantage right now, that would be huge for the team of Cyber Swipe, but it's instead Expo Chan going down. Assertive and Zoe the Witch gonna have to put in overtime right now. As Wee pushed away to the corner, the Giga Blast accelerates the court to the bottom side once again, but Zoe has the clear. The respawn ticking, the log defending, and the core speed from Zoe the Witch's 1-2 punch is becoming overwhelming, but not quite yet as ZachSmack slows down the play, slows everything down. Wee in position, but Assertive hits it around the dash punch. Dangerous spot with the flame flurry, but Zoe the Witch has the roll on point, but a strike shot from ZachSmack from downtown will win the set for Wee's Little Bees and get them out of danger.
The 3-point downtown strike shot, able to put it in, beautifully played by Wee's Little Bees. It's just so much offensive pressure. And that is the first pick tie. I'm looking at stacks on stacks. Carmine's looking at prime time. Gonna be looking to take that. More barrages in the building. Has rapid fire, great synergy there. Assertive's gonna have to deny this Juno hotshot, and will. Going to be just not dealing with that. Now it's 1-2 punch hotshot on their side. That's a lot of core speed. That's gonna be really relevant. Pretty scary to deal with, especially for this Juno, who does have strike shot to try and catch these shots on the other side of the goal, but will have to react to it and might have it down, might not be enough. Core speed could be the way that Cyber Swipe gets out of this game, or maybe regular speed. Zoe the Witch picking up that peak performance, gonna be moving really quickly, but taking a lot of damage. Expo Chan taken out. At this point is not looking Cyber Swipe favored right now.
Yeah, Expo Chan picked up the twin drive. That means 2 Cyber Swipes for Cyber Swipe, but if she's dead, that means 0 Cyber Swipes for Cyber Swipe. And Expo Chan now in a lot of trouble on the top side as the pressure becomes mounting. But Zoe the Witch is gliding all over everybody. The dubu has way too much speed to deal with right now, and the core speed as well with the 1-2 punch. Expo Chan now dribbling, picking it up for Zoe once again. And all it takes is one opportunity here as the glitch pop is not enough, but Assertive keeps it forward. The Flame Flurry makes it difficult, but the log is good enough as it's cleared away one last time. Dangerous spot to be in, but it's a Tofu Fortress that accelerates it. And so much 1-2 punch value for Zoe the Witch.
Absolutely. Zoe the Witch is dangerously fast on some Season 1 glass cannon skates dubu. And the 1-2 punch able to get that core speed, bounce off the wall there, get it in. Looking so good. Cyberswipe, they only need a few opportunities because they are just so oppressive. Big KO with the core flip. This dubu is moving different here, forcing the flip from Carmine, not getting anything. Still has 3 seconds left of their power play. Just kind of hovering on the midfield. Maxwell's abusing, you might say. But now that WEEB is back, they have to find an opportunity to get it forward, get it through, and maintain their offense here.
Yeah, they need to keep away from Carmine. The roll doesn't connect. The Tofu Fortress doesn't kill, but there's the flip. Double KO for Zoe the Witch. And now the 3v1 is becoming overwhelming. ZachSmack, though, holding just well enough. Still has the flip to use. Could stall this out quite well here. Strike shots. Doesn't even need the flip. ZachSmack in the 1v3. Doesn't even need the meter.
ZachSmack just holding it down. Completely unflinching. No teammates, no problems. Nothing to be done, but flip burned on the Cyberswipe. Really well played by ZachSmack there. Carmine is down. Cyberswipe has the power play. Gonna be looking for their opportunity, but WEEB is kind of holding it in this corner. Doing really well. Carmine is back. Zoe is down. WEEB with the flip. WEEB is down. It's everyone's taking a little break here as Assertive still holding these barriers, and ExpoChed with the dash right there, able to get it in, and Cyberswipe 1 point away from winning this set. Holy moly.
Maybe the twin drive was a difference maker. They have double the cyber swipes, triple the cyber swipes if you think about it, if you include the team name. And ExpoChed's been putting them to good use, right? Following up off of what the teammates are doing. Comboed off the Molten Bolt from Assertive, which was really impressive. And of course, following up on Zoe the Witch's abilities, which are a little bit easier to follow up on, especially the roll. Right now, though, it's the WEEB show to the top side, a barrier take. Carmine down to ZachSmack, accelerating with the slimes, and not enough hits from the Drakkar in that moment. They get it away for now, but WEEB has flip. Always a threat. The Firewall Sentry used defensively, but they're still in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, turret burned, unable to get the barrier, get it through. But WEEB here with the flip, using it, taking the shot. Entire net open, and that's going to be another point for WEEB's Little Bees.
WEEB's Little Bees 2 goals away from closing out this game, but you got to watch out. It's not that easy. You still have to make sure that Cyberswipe can't take this set and bring it even further here. It's looking quite doable now as Zoe the Witch finds strike interactions, but WEEB interrupting, making it really clogged up in the midfield. And now with the barrier take, WEEB stays alive just barely, and that Tofu Fortress is actually going to help WEEB retreat a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunate Tofu Fortress there. Ton of damage going on to Zoe the Witch, who has 2300 stagger, but it might be all down, going for an immaculate orb run, has a flip. Energy is definitely looking good for Cyberswipe. Burning it right here, though, on their barrier for defense, and the barrier still going down. ZachSmack with the flip could be getting in there, making something happen. Until then, Assertive also has a flip, but it's not going to matter as WEEB is going to win a strike war right there on the line and take WEEB's Little Bees 1 point away from winning this whole game.
Cyberswipe, when they're going, but again, like, they need to get that momentum rolling. That's a barrier take early. Carmine looking to close this one out quickly. Meter wasted by the goalie as well, but the glitch pop is enough to take out the midfielder. WEEB will return it, though, and this time WEEB has flip available. That's going to be a barrier take here, but a strike war win gets it away at point blank, but WEEB has the punch to cover. Looking to try and win this here is ZachSmack with the flip. The hit's done, but it's the Summer Assault that hits it backwards. That's a KO onto WEEB, and now Carmine with the Giga Blast will do it, and WEEB's Little Bees will advance to 2-0 in the group stage.
Holy moly. Insane hold coming out from Cyberswipe. Beautifully played, but unfortunately Carmine able to snipe a Giga Blast right there, catch the strike, win the interaction, and put it in. Cyberswipe so close to bringing it back, but unfortunately just not quite able to make it. And looking at the redirects here, a little bit of a story being told with 300 being broken by Carmine, and it just 267 on Assertive. That's a lot of pressure on the goalie that they were able to put up, and it just felt like Cyberswipe was always on defense. When they were on offense, when they got a KO or were able to push it through, they were explosive. You know, KOs left and right, barriers being taken in ways that you couldn't even fathom. But it just looked like Wee's Little Bees were way more consistent in the midfield, able to control the ball and push it through and force all the CDs out of Cyberswipe on defense. And at some point, you just kind of run out of abilities. It can't do anything at that point. Forced to just strike ward out, and when the enemy team is able to just always be pushing up, always come back with more abilities, it's hard to do anything about that.
Yeah, now Cyberswipe 0-2 in a really bad spot here. I think the only way to guarantee day 2 is to go at least 3 wins, and there's only 3 more games left for them. No, there's 2 more games left for them. Oh, their max possible record right now is 2-2. That's a little scary for Cyberswipe. But Wee's Little Bees sitting pretty at a 2-0 here, so good for them. Well, but speaking of Showtime versus Cosmic Calamities are up next. It's just a Nassau match. All right, we'll be right back.